I used to make getting good on drums way too complicated, until I discovered a science-backed way that speeds up progress, decreases practice time, and skips the technical drills. And it's actually pretty easy. So in this video, I'm going to show you 5 lessons I wish I knew when I started playing drums, so you can get better, faster, and not make the same mistakes I did. To start, I'm going to show you what everyone gets wrong about practice. Practice doesn't make perfect or permanent. If practice is starting to feel like work instead of fun, you've probably fallen for the same catchphrase I did. I didn't really believe practice makes perfect, but I was sold on practice makes permanent. So I obsessed over the details, perfect strokes, perfect timing, perfect songs. Hours and hours of trying to correct every tiny flaw. And over time, I realized this isn't fun anymore. Every practice session felt like a job. I just wanted to enjoy drums again. So I started researching how we actually learn the skills. And I found something that would have saved me years. As a beginner, putting on songs and trying to play along, messy, imperfect, but engaged, was teaching me more than obsessing over whether my sticks moved vertically, or if my grip remained relaxed at all times. When I stopped worrying about every detail and put the music back on center stage, drums got fun again. And that's when I realized what I was chasing didn't exist. Practice doesn't make perfect, and it doesn't make things permanent either. Lesson number 1, practice makes you adaptable. Because back when I was fumbling through 10 to 20 songs in an evening, I wasn't wasting time. I was building the skills to achieve my goal, playing drums with music. And honestly, jack of all trades, master of none doesn't really apply when your goal is to just sit down and play. If the last 20% towards mastery takes as long as getting something new to 80%, and it often does, I'll take 80% on more songs every time. And speaking of songs, lesson number 2 helps my students get to the end of every single one they start. My students would often get stuck on a tiny part of an otherwise totally playable song. They go section by section, intro, verse, chorus, or they jump straight to the hardest part and work on that first. The problem is they chip away at it for so many weeks that they start to lose motivation to get through the whole song. They wouldn't feel enough success even though they were improving. So I changed the approach. Now I challenge them to find the MVP of the song, the minimum viable playthrough. That's the simplest drum parts you can come up with that still sound like the song. Instead of learning the exact beats and fills, we keep the foundations, the correct cymbal for each section, the backbeat in place, and something simple on the kick. The goal is to understand the song from beginning to end, following the changes when they happen. And once they can do that, something wild happens. They can play the track from start to finish, usually in a single lesson. They finally get to feel like the drummer on the song they love, and then they build the details on top of that solid foundation. Lesson 2. Simplifying a song doesn't make you less of a drummer, it makes you more of a musician. Because the real foundations of drumming aren't the patterns you play. It's playing with the music, knowing where you are, holding the beats down, getting to the end without falling apart. And every time you play through a full track, you train that. Alternatively, if you get stuck polishing one bar until it's perfect, you're missing the chance to build the foundation that actually makes you sound and feel like a drummer. Next up, I'm going to show you how to fix your weaker hand for good, without any technical exercises. I've been trying to fix my weak left hand for years. All the technical exercises, the drills that promised results, but compared to my right, my left still felt like it was playing through mud. So I stopped searching for more exercises and started asking, what am I doing day to day that's causing this in the first place? And I noticed something. How I play has been training this imbalance right from the beginning. As a right-hand lead player, my right hand does most of the work, most of the time. So even if I do practice left-hand specific drills, the rest of my playing keeps reinforcing the same problem. So I decided to retrain as an open-handed player, give my left hand an equal share of the work. It's a struggle, but here's the payoff. My left hand is catching up. I stopped fighting the problem I was accidentally creating. Lesson number 3, it's never too late to uncross your hands, but the sooner you do, the less you have to fix later. Open-handed playing can be learned right from the start. And honestly, if you watch a child jump on a drum kit for the first time, they often go left hand on the hi-hat, right hand on the snare. Crossing over is something we learn, not something we do naturally. And if you're thinking, but surely it's better to use my dominant hand to do most of the work, well, I got news for you. As a beginner, and I say this with love, you don't have a dominant hand. Both of your hands are equally terrible. You could train them both together. Because if you practice leading with both hands, that eventually just becomes how you play. Now that you can leave those weak hand exercises behind, this next lesson will show you how to skip even more exercises. Have you ever wondered why you can perfect hundreds of exercises, but when it's time to actually play a song, none of them show up? I spent years grinding through thousands of exercises from books, DVDs, and lessons. I'd check them off at different tempos, different dynamics, move them around the kit, the lot. But I realised something a little frustrating. Most of it never transferred. Like 90% of what I learned didn't appear when I was actually playing music. So I stopped letting exercises dictate my practice and started letting songs shape my practice. Now, everything I work on has a purpose because it shows up in a track I actually want to play. Lesson 4, let the songs you play guide the skills you learn. Pick a song that inspires you, challenges you, and let it tell you what to practice next. If that sounds good to you, I do exactly this in my one-to-one sessions. Send me your favourite songs, I'll build you a personalised roadmap and we'll work through it together. Link in the description. Now this next lesson is something I still struggle to keep consistent, but if you can, I believe it's the most useful tool you'll ever have. The moment practice gets hard and you feel like you don't have the tools, you probably go hunting for answers. YouTube, your teacher, these days maybe even ChatGPT. But here's the issue. Finding the answers isn't where the learning happens. One of my longest standing students started the traditional way. Counting, notation, exercises, all of that good stuff. But by year 3 or 4, he was still asking the same questions he asked in year 1. And I was explaining the same things in as many different ways as I could think of, but it just wasn't sticking. After a lot of research, I realised there's a difference between an instructor and a coach. So I changed how we interacted in our lessons. Instead of me delivering the answers, I made the lesson a problem-solving environment. No more here's the solution, just guidance, so he had to figure it out himself. Now, years later, he doesn't come to lessons starting from scratch. He shows up having almost figured things out for himself, and he just needs a little bit of guidance on 1 or 2 specific things. He's more independent, he understands what's happening, he found his own way to learn. And when he hits those tricky moments, I'll guide him, but I won't just hand him the answer. At some point, the goal isn't just learn this song, it's become the person who can learn any song. Lesson 5, the moment someone tells you the answer, they've robbed you of your ability to learn. Because the best drummers didn't become the best by following a step-by-step procedure. They became great by wrestling with the instrument, experimenting, failing, adjusting, and discovering what works. And that struggle, that is the learning. So now you know how to learn drums faster than I ever did. But there's one more thing holding most drummers back from playing their favourite songs. Kick drum speed. So click this next video if you want to double your foot speed using only the songs you love.